What are you doing? Why it has become a very important factor in all spiritual life is because the teachers could not have sex. For this reason. You know? Not because of any other reason. The whole body undergoes a sort of a chemical change. From the nature's point of view, it has no use for this at all. This living organism has only two things. One, survival, and the other thing to reproduce one. It's not interested in anything else. So all the cultural input there is the enemy of this living organism. That's the conflict, that's the battle that is going on there. So there is no way we can free ourselves from that. How can we free ourselves from that? What you call you is that. So when that comes to an end, the death takes place, you see. So a sort of a clinical death took place in the case of this individual. What is left after that? I have no way of knowing it. You see, I have no way of telling myself that I am alive and not dead. If you ask me the question, are you alive or dead? My answer would be, yes, I am alive. Because the question is born out of the knowledge you have of how a living individual functions, operates. You see? So that knowledge brings the answer, I am alive. I would never say I am dead. But the fact that this is a living being can never be experienced by me. The body has no way of experiencing its age, there is no way of experiencing that it is alive or dead. For all practical purposes, for all purposes, death does not exist for this. What all you find there was there in that single cell there. The whole blueprint was there. If you mess it up, probably it will not bloom into a human being like this, a genius like you. It will have perished. If we don't mess it up by eating health food, nutritious food, and indulge in religious activities, it will grow into a human being.
In the West, a lot of people have come to the conclusion or the feeling that ordinary sex, the way it's being practiced, is not the way to go. It's kind of too rough. So now they're doing a kind of tantric sex with a different kind of orgasm, much gentler and slower.
It's about the same. They want to make a business. It's all. You know, what is so tantric about? So when I heard this tantric center there in Rajneesh Center, I said it's a fucking club, sorry. If somebody asked me a question, what of love? I said love is a four-letter word, misspelled. Why call it is tantric sex? What is so marvelous about it? The whole tantric business came into India as a reaction against the suppression of sex for spiritual reasons. They went too far. That's why you have all these temples and sex symbols. Every temple has all kinds of imaginable sex postures you have there. And so they translate all that and give some mystical explanation to that kind of thing. What is so mystical about the whole thing? I'm sorry.
And people are trying to get cosmic orgasms now.
Come on. Come on. What is so cosmic about it? There is a good market for that kind of a thing.
Very good.
Good luck to them.
You can have a weekend, I think, for $1,000. Here in Sydney, I think you can have a country with your friends.
$1,000? Boy, that's something.
I haven't got $1,000, so I shall never know.
So you would say the choice was to die or to live naturally?
Drop all definitions of life and death. Then it takes care of itself. It's just a definition. That's what I'm trying to cross. Death can never be an experience. How can it be an experience? But that experience changes the whole thing, your way of looking at things, your way of experiencing things. It's some sort of a mystical experience. So, but still, you see, the dependence on some authority is still there. It's an extraordinary experience, like any other experience. It changes your whole way of thinking, your whole way of looking at things, whole way of experiencing things. You know?
The thing you stumbled.
No,
Oh.
till the end.
Hmm.
There is no experience of any kind.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I say death can never be experienced.
Yes.
Because it cannot experience the fact that it is living. You are not going to preside over your own death, that is for sure. So why this body is still continuing is because it had the capacity to renew itself. But when we reach our 90th year or 100th year and die there, the body has no way of renewing itself. So birth and death is a simultaneous process. It is happening all the time. Every time the thought is born, you are born. And through that artificial maintenance of the continuity of thought, we think we are living all the time.
So isn't that the aim of much meditation in search of enlightenment?
Meditation?
To cease thought, to be out of thought.
No, not at all. You can't get out of thought through the use of thought. How can you?
By ceasing to think.
What for? We want to die. And they don't want to die. They want to live in a spiritual
To be in
state.
a voidness, as the Buddha would seek, the void.
I don't know what he meant void. How can you experience void?
Well, maybe you don't experience it.
Then you don't talk of void. What I have against Buddha, they don't like it. For the first time in the history of human thought, he introduced the element of proselytization, converting people. He created a sangha, he created an organization, created a tremendous following that happened. Before that, there was no such thing as conversion at all. Those sages just talked about those things and just disappeared. This fellow, for the first time in the history of mankind, created that mystery. And after that, everybody else, Jesus, Muhammad, started the same thing. Conversion is never part of that.
In the course of all your travels, have you come across any other individual who it seems remotely to have undergone a similar process? Obviously, it's not the same.
First of all, he wouldn't come to me to verify whether he is in the same state.
You might meet him on a train or something.
If you asked me any questions, I would know them. I would know them. That's all. He won't ask any. We met Nisargadatta and I, the fellow who edited that book, his book, I don't know what it was. He's a very close friend of mine.
Oh, Morris Friedman.
Morris Friedman. He was a very close friend. And he used to meet me, and then he was with Ramana Maharshi for a long time, and then with Krishnamurti. And he met me quite a few times, and then he got involved with Nisargadatta, because he who put all those things together. So actually, it was not his statements. It was a mixture of so many things, Krishnamurti and Lingo, Ramana Maharshi stuff, all put together, you know. But anyway, one day he telephoned me asking me to visit the woman he was, they were living together in the same house, that old lady. I was leaving the next day for Switzerland. He said, she would like to see you. She cannot climb the steps, and I was living on the 4th floor or 5th floor. It's very difficult path. Then I said I would visit her. I went there, and there was this man sitting there next to her. So he asked some questions. I answered in my own way. He asked him some questions. He answered them in Marathi. I did not understand. He didn't understand English. So there was somebody there translating the whole thing. He knew neither Marathi nor English well enough to make any sense out of that. That's all. And in the end, this moderator, Friedman, asked me the question, what do you think of that man? I said, I don't know what he said. I met a man and then walked out. And I don't know what he said about me. But he has said a lot about me in that book. He asked him questions about me. Nisargadatta Maharaj in one of those books. Yes, 71 or some chapter. He said that I would stop talking, I would practice silence. So far, no way I can stop talking.
You say enlightenment is bunk, but was there not something about this man? I mean, everybody thought he was enlightened.
I don't think there is no way you can tell yourself that you are an enlightened man, that you are a free man. Somehow, I don't know, I felt is not the word, I thought not the word, I don't know, let's not bother about the right word. There is nothing there to be free from. Not even from the physical needs of the body. There is no such thing as hunger for me, but from time to time I put some food, what is called food. Because the body needs energy, otherwise I can't go and enjoy it. I have to live a civilized life in the midst of all these civilized states. I can't go back and live a dog or a cow or an animal. So that's all, the body needs some energy. If you don't eat after 2-3 years, it doesn't demand food, it eats on itself. 63 days you can survive, and then it goes. You know those fellows, the terrorists who fasted unto death there in Ireland, they talked about the peculiar experiences they had. So they fasted for 63 days. They said the body can survive without food for 63 days or 62 days, and without water for 72 hours. So they talked about the strange things that they were experiencing. All of them could be fitted into religious experiences the saints talked about. Or is breathing exercise. By cutting out the flow of oxygen into your brain, you can experience all kinds of things. And you can call them spiritual experiences. If you raise the blood pressure, you feel as if you are levitating, hitting the ceiling. So the levitation is one of the gimmicks that this transcendental man is selling. Everywhere. There was an advertisement in the Time magazine inviting all the governments to create what kind of a world on this planet, I don't know. So you see, by increasing through these gimmicks, the blood pressure, you experience as if you are levitating, you are hitting the ceiling here. These are all the gimmicks that they experienced and taught the people. The meditation is a war, battle that is going on there. That's why I call it evil. The moment you sit to meditate, only the evil thoughts enter. Okay? You want to replace them with beautiful spiritual thoughts. There is a battle going on there. It is a last battle. And you are tired. The peace you experience is the peace between the two walls. And then you see you want to do that again and again and again.
Because it's pleasurable.
It's pleasurable. Yes, it is. Yuki, you said there's nothing to understand. But we need to understand that there is nothing to understand. How are you going to perform that miracle? I don't know, but you are helping us, aren't you?
No.
In as much as...
No.
You're getting us to look.
No,
you say that.
You are already repeating what I said. It has already become part of your knowledge.
Yes.
That there is
the
an
phrase,
understanding.
the phrase...
That's all we know. All words, phrases, and people. So the moment it becomes part of your knowledge,
Yes.
it has to become part of the knowledge. You know that book, Freedom from the Known. That is the very thing you have to be free from. How can you be free from when you are brainwashed to believe that you have to be free from the tradition? Gone, finished. So the very thing that the man is, the very thing that I am saying, that's the thing you have to be free from. Because it has already become part of the known. That is nature. The only way it can survive, maintain its continuity, or the momentum, is through making whatever I am saying part of that. So we just repeat those words. I'm not blaming you. That's all that we can do.
No.
So that is not the instrument. That's all that I am saying. That can only create problems. It cannot solve the problems. So we have tremendous investment in that instrument, because that is the one that has helped us to be what we are and to create this world comfortable around us and to survive longer than the other species on this planet. So how can you let go of that? It's foolish to let go of that. True.
sounds rather a good thing, actually.
To let it, no, there is no way you can let it go. That's the problem. To be in a thoughtless state, it has invented. Huh? But I know many people come and tell me, yes, I was in a thoughtless. What the hell you are talking? How can you say that you were in a thoughtless state? The thought was very much there. Timeless state. There is no such thing as a timeless state. It is the time that has created the timeless state. It is the thought that has invented the thoughtless state and trying to put itself into that thoughtless state. In this process, it is gathering some peculiar kinds of experiences. And those experiences give you hope one day that you are going to be in a thoughtless state. What for? Whatever you are doing to free yourself from thought is a thought. That is why I am saying the thoughts are not self-generated, they are not spontaneous. They come from outside. We use them to translate these sensory perceptions to maintain that identity. We use them.
And something else seems to be happening with you. You seem to be doing something different. You said in that movie you gave me, there was a very interesting thing that the chap picked on. And you said that when you look at the clock, you're just looking at the clock, and it's not a clock. It's just it's just something which you can't put words to. And then suddenly, when anybody asks you the time, all that thing called knowledge comes out, and you say it's 3:15.
It's computer that is there.
Yeah. Now, so it seems to me that
now you see, you are looking at the television, for example.
Yes.
And you are creating all that. It's not there. They are all dots.
Sure. Yes.
So you create the pictures there.
Yeah.
It's your problem.
Yes.
There are all dots there on the television. You are not listening. There is a gap between these sounds there. See, these notes are different. What is language after all? Spacing the two different notes and the tune. So it becomes English, Latin, Greek, or any of those 16 Indian languages. Why only dialects? Music is also that the space between the two notes. And the melody. That is music. And what is beauty? Beauty is a frame. If there is no frame, you don't talk of immensity there. Without a frame, there is no beauty there. That's cultural.
I'm sure. What seems to happen...
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what seems to happen with you is that there is something, we don't know how to put words that you can't, something happening, and then when somebody says to you, what's the time? Suddenly, all this cultural knowledge that's necessary to say it's 3:15 arrives, you say it's 3:15 and it goes away again.
No, it is memory, then it's back again.
That's it. And then if I say, what colour is the clock? You say yellow. And
we have a girl looking after this old lady in India, Bangalore.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to read the time, because she didn't go to school. We were taught how to read the times there, the clock. Otherwise, we have no way. We just look at it. Not that I am ignorant. All the information is there. You see, it is stripped of all the images. The image building structure is thrown out of that, you see, because of this Holocaust.
It's very interesting that you said the television analogy. I told you that they snatched me back from 4 hours when I was supposed to be dead. I don't know if I was. But ever since then, two things have happened which sound remarkably like what you've said, but that's slightly different. But then, of course, they would be, because I'm not the same. But when I watch the television set, it suddenly disappears into dots. And then I have to recreate the picture myself. And when I listen to music now, I hear individual notes and I hear individual instruments, but I suddenly find it all comes back again. If I think, oh, I want to listen to the music, it all comes back.
I also admire music sometimes, but I have great difficulty to enjoy the Western music. You know, I was brought up there in India. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony doesn't make any sense to me, but, you know. And now having lived so many years outside India, I can tolerate this music, not enjoy it.
It sounds a difficult way to live.
No, it's very simple to live.
Oh, it happens automatically.
You are functional, that's all. Thought is functional. It ceases to be the instrument of achieving, accomplishing, attaining anything. So the energy that is consumed with this constant demand to maintain the identity That's why you dream, I don't dream. You know. So the images continue. You are not actually sleeping. I don't sleep in that sense. You know, like a cat. Sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, wake up. You see, like that. There's no continuity there. So there is no way I can dream. The images don't exist even while I am awake. So how can I dream when I am asleep? You are forced by the demands of the body to rest. This demands. So I don't have to do a thing while I am sitting here. The cuts, the sensory, it slows down. The sensory activity slows down. The eyes may be open, it sees nothing. It is for a fraction of a second. And then after that it becomes clear. That is the clarity I am talking about, not the clarity of thought. By repetitive process, our thoughts become very clear, and that's what we are interested in, the clarity of thought. But here, the clarity of the sensory perceptions, extraordinary clarity it has. You see, not that I can count every hair you have on your head. It sees the space between the two hairs. You know, through the help of a computer, probably it will be possible to prove that I'm wrong if I give hazardous a figure and say that you have so many hairs. It's not in that sense. You see, that's the clarity. And this is a tremendous organism. Whoever created, there may not be any creator. It may have just happened that way. Tremendous intelligence it has.
So are you saying that there isn't a road? A road doesn't exist until the time comes for you to have to cross it?
Even there, I cannot tell you, visualize, supposing somebody asks me how to get to Grace Brothers there. I cannot visualize the whole thing, probably you can. I can take you there like a dog. I have a dog sense in the sense, or without creating any images, I can tell you go there. It's only word, it's a word picture, you know. Then turn left, there is a door, open the door, turn right, there is an elevator. Nothing is there inside, I'm giving you a word picture, go down, and then walk, take a few steps, turn right, and then turn left and go through that. You see the arcade there, and you take the elevator and you get onto the George Street, take a few steps, there is Grace Brothers is there.
Now, what's this different?
Step by step, one point to another.
Yeah, I see. Now, what's this different for you before your calamity?
I don't know how it was, because I cannot say that this is the way it is functioning, and it was different before. There is no before and after wash.
Can we hear of the calamity? We don't know that.
No, I don't. To me, you see, that is whatever I did, whatever I did not do. See, all the events up to that point are it's like any other event. So this event can never be fitted into a value system anymore. It has no value for me. I cannot set up a holy business because I cannot thrive on the gullibility and credulity of the people if I don't have any way of surviving. Probably I will become a French digger there or a grave digger. I don't know. If such a situation arises, because I don't have any tools.
You have mentioned the importance of